Divide. Take not thy thunder from us, take away our pride. Just a babe in a black abyss, no reason for a place like this. The walls are cold and souls cry out in pain. An easy way for the blind to go, a clever path for the fools who know the secret of the hangman, the smile on his lips. The light of the blind, you'll see. The venom tears my space. The eyes of the Nile are opening, you'll see. She came to me with a serpent's kiss as the eye of the sun rose on her lips. Moonlight catches silver tears I cry. So we lay in a black embrace. I'm a sainted soul in a holy place, and I watched and I waited for the dawn. The light of the blind, you'll see. The venom tears my spine. The eyes of the Nile are opening, you'll see.
the best rock and roll slash heavy metal band ever. Ever.
Open free, no storm or heavy weather. Well, rock the boat, you'll see. The time has come to close your eyes and still the wind and rain. For the one who will be king, the watcher in the ring. It is you.
It is you.
It is you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you, rock and roll Hall of Fame. It's definitely you in my sights right now as someone to rage on, bastards. But first, let's listen to this guy. Hell, he'll probably get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Iron Maiden, and he's not even rock and roll. But he's damn good.
They say love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought and it can't be sold. I got love enough to spare that makes me a millionaire. I got a woman with eyes that shine down deep as a diamond mine. She's my treasure so very rare. She made me a millionaire. When we ride around this old town in my beat up car with the windows down, people look at her and they look at me and say that boy is sure living in luxury, sweet luxury, because love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought, no, never could be sold. I got love enough to share that make me a millionaire. When the kisses fall from everywhere like riches on a millionaire. When my pockets are empty and my cupboard is bare, I still feel like a millionaire. Because love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought, no, and it can't be sold. I got love enough to spare that make me a millionaire.
I don't know if you like country music or not, but how can you not like that dude, man? He's just his voice is on point, and he is, well, he's amazing. Show starts in 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Right after this, let's go.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. The war machine keeps turning.
Say it before I do.
I'm a ball for life, y'all. I bleed orange and white, y'all. I will till I die, y'all. I'm a ball for life.
Correct way to pronounce my last name is Iya Male Ava.
Cause mama, tell me
What's going on, boys and girls? It's your boy Travis Stevens, VFL and former Tampa Bay Buccaneers, checking in with my man BVD on BVD TV Prime Time. And like my man BVD says, go VOLS, screw y'all.
Say it with me, boys and girls. Ia Mali Abba. Say it with me, boys and girls. First Tennessee quarterback to ever win the Heisman. It's coming. Just go ahead and write it down. I've always said no Tennessee quarterback will ever win the Heisman, but I've changed my mind. Nico Ia Mali Abba. If Joe don't win it this year, but we'll have to see about that. What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome to Wednesday's Will Call. Special guest with me tonight. YouTube's, well, I don't know what to call him. Some people call him Mini BVD. Some people call him BVD's twin. The guy is handsome. He does look a lot like me. I got to say that. But he's got one thing going for him that I don't. Youth. He's a young man just getting going in life. So, and he just shot me the bird. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's former guest, TRISTAR, will be with us here in just a few minutes as soon as I blather on a little bit. But first of all, pay some bills. Thank you, ETI, for being the title sponsor of BVD TV. And as long as I'm on YouTube, they'll be right here with me. Thanks to South State Contractors for signing on. And my boy, Celine Driver, my current and only YouTube partner in crime that's sponsoring the old channel. He's been on here for a while, so I appreciate you. We don't get to see him much because he's old, and he lets us all know he's old, older than me anyway. He doesn't come around much because, 7 o'clock, it's old people's bedtime. So I guess it's bedtime for Celine Driver. But thank you anyway for sponsoring the channel, Celine, if you ever do get to see this. And thanks to all of my sponsors. And thanks to you for showing up tonight. This is episode 3, I believe, of Will Call Wednesday. And what that means, if you don't get it, is I will try to have special guests on here like TriStar tonight. Pretty knowledgeable Tennessee fan from what I've noticed and witnessed on here. Knows his stuff when it comes to Tennessee football. So be good to talk to him for a little while tonight. And then later on, I'll open up the panel and you guys can come in and talk. But before you do that, you got to hit that thumbs up. It's mandatory. It's a new rule and new law that YouTube has instituted that if you join a live stream, you got to hit the thumbs up, whether you like it or not, or the thumbs down, whichever you prefer. Doesn't really matter to them, I don't think. Just lets us know that you're here and lets them know to bump me up the algorithm to somewhere down in the millions. And that will work for me. Thank you right off the rip to Wrestling Talk for the super chat. It says, love you, mean it. Love you, mean it right back at you. And thanks to Big Sexy 70, I think it's 79, 76 or 79. We'll just go with my boy Greg Metcalf. Thank you very much, Greg, for hitting that PayPal. He hit the PayPal link Sunday night, and I didn't notice it until like I think the next day. Ed, the topic tonight is Tennessee football and whatever you guys want to talk about. But thank you to Greg Metcalf, for AKA the Big Sexy, for hitting that PayPal Sunday night and for hitting it again tonight before the show even started. Greg's on it, man. I appreciate you, Greg. Appreciate you a lot. He didn't have a comment, but I know my boy Greg. It was probably something like, here, take this. You're going to need it to dry your tears with when I kick your ass next time we play golf. We'll see. Who's here tonight? We got the regulars. Mr. Gate City Blue Devil, first in the door tonight. Beating that crowd because he must have had a feeling that I was going to bitch about something tonight. And I'll get to that right here in a second. Matt Dumit, Ramajamama Taylor is here. For Billy Paul, good to see HBP in here. Hang on, let me fix you up, HBP. Should have done this back when I was redoing the mod thing. I hate talking about mods because every time you mod somebody up and people notice it, they want to know, why ain't I a mod? Why ain't I a mod? I don't know. Why aren't you a mod? Maybe I should just mod everybody up. But anyway, we see how that works over on Edward's channel when you mod everybody up. Whew, boy, what a mess over there last night. If you didn't see last night's Edward show, you probably don't want to see. Well, I think he took it down. Anyway, that's a topic for a different day. What's up, Wrestling Talk? Good to see Yuns in here. Jerry Wells, Hudson Dean. Who else? Ed, my main man, Ed. Ed. And you know who Ed is for? He is for UT. Vandy Dandy. Vandiful is here tonight. Vanderbilt is here and usually is. Chris Simpson, a member. Thank you very much. Vic2 Productions is here. Corey Brunson. B. My boy B Bean. Lucas Sharp, what's going on with you, buddy? If you guys would like to become a member of the channel, it's real easy. Just click that little join button down there under the screen, and it gives you 3 options how you can support this channel. Be great. I'd surely appreciate it. So if you would consider that. When we get to 30 members, and we're a long way from 30 members, but 30 members shouldn't be hard to get to before football season. Surely not. We can get to 30 members. I'm going to have a nice cash giveaway when we get to 30 members. So there's your incentive to become a member. And it's just a nice thing to do, and I'd appreciate the hell out of it. So anyway, getting right into tonight's stuff. I know it was asked what tonight's topic is about. Before we get to TriStar, and before we get to Tennessee football, and before we get to whatever it is y'all want to talk about, I'm angry. I'm pissed off, actually. And y'all can thank Matt Dumit for this, because he's the one that texted me and told me about it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even have noticed for a while. But so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has their inductees. And here's some of the great, incredible rock and roll artists that made the cut this year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Missy Elliott. Yeah, Missy Elliott. Well known for her rock and roll. Don't even know what she's saying in that song. Sheryl Crow. Okay, I'll give it to Sheryl. I'll give it up for Sheryl Crow. I can live with that. Kate Bush. You gotta like any female with the last name Bush, so I'll give it up for her. George Michael. George freaking Michael is inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, oddly enough, I just mentioned to Sea Dog last Friday that I actually used to kind of like Wham. Not ashamed to admit it, even though I should be. And back in my heavy metal days, in my metalhead years, I wouldn't have told my best friend that shit. But, I couldn't help it. Wham came out when I was in high school. My sister loved him. All females loved George Michael and Wham. So it was my guilty pleasure. There's some other artists that made it. DJ Cool made it. Clearly, with that name, DJ Cool, he's clearly a rock and roll stud. Something called Herc, or is it DJ Cool Herc? I don't know. Maybe it is. Who's the other one? I'm not going to name them all off. Point being is Iron Maiden was snubbed. Again. Steve Harris, the original Iron Maiden getter-togetherer, the guy that started the band, he's not too upset about it. He knows eventually they'll get in, and they will. But that's not the point. How you going to put Missy Elliott and George Michael, just to name two, in over frickin' Iron Maiden? Just the greatest metal band ever. I know that's an opinion, but it's my opinion, and it counts. To me, I mean, is it going to affect my life if Iron Maiden never gets into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No, it's not. But it's still just one of these things that's horseshit. B-Bean, I don't know what woke it means, but they need to woke the hell up and recognize. And just recognize the greatest heavy metal band. Hell, I'll say it. The greatest band of all times. Again, that's debatable. I get it. But they are amazing. And they're like freaking 95 years old now. And the Energizer Bunny will croak before Iron Maiden does. Guaranteed. These guys just don't stop. You know why? Because in their early years, they weren't out here drugging it up, trashing hotel rooms like Motley Crue and that turd from Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose. But Guns N' Roses is in. They're in. I can even live with that. Is Motley Crue in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Anybody know? I'd even be okay with them making it in. At least they're rock and frickin' roll. And I get it. Willie Nelson got inducted this year. How rock and roll is he? He's rock and roll up here where it counts. Willie's smoking a doobie, strumming that guitar and singing. So he's rock and roll at its roots. So we'll see. What's your opinions in the comments? Let me know what you think. Yeah, me too, BA. The reason I don't watch the news and I very rarely read the shit that pops up on my phone because half the time it's clickbait. You see a headline on your phone and you read it, and then boom. Bill for VOLS in the house. I want an autograph if I join the channel. Keep the cash. Okay, you got it. Good to see you in here, Bill. Chess Hall's in here, man. I haven't seen Bill I need to get Bill on here. Bill, Come back. Hell, you can get on here tonight after I talk to TriStar. I'd like to have you two guys in here together and compare your UT knowledge. In fact, and speaking of TriStar, let's just bring the guy on in here. A man about town, a man on the road, and a man that knows a little something about Tennessee sports. And it's been said, I'll let you guys determine. People have said he don't like this. He shot me the bird for it earlier. People say he looks like a young BVD. What do you guys say? What's up, TriStar? How you doing, bud?
Well,
He can't. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
I am just sitting here. That's what I'm doing.
Well, that's good. We don't want you driving and vlogging.
I'm not that stupid.
Well, I am. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold it up here like, hey man, hey, yeah, about this, something, yeah, yeah. Look at here.
You know, there's something else you can do too. You can set your camera on the dash and drive and vlog that. What's the difference? You know, what's the difference between putting a camera on your dash and talking while you're riding down the road and listening to the radio or talking to somebody sitting next to you? No different. No different.
Well, see, what it is my dash thing right there is on my window and it's kind of pointed up and it won't go down any further. So you wouldn't be able, you'd see up there. You wouldn't see my head.
Right. Okay. Just thought I'd highlight that comment. It does look like me, doesn't he? Hey, let me give you
now. If you were around, say November 1994, if you was in the Cleveland, Tennessee area, then we might have some questions.
Yeah, I hear you. How old are you? Do you care to tell people how old you are?
On July the 8th, I'll be 28.
You'll be 28. Okay. On July 14th, my actual birth son will be 34. 34, and I'm trying to find this picture. I'll let you guys compare who looks more like me, my actual birth son or my YouTube stepson here. There's one good picture of him, but I'm trying to find this one little thing that I did. Let's see. Anyway, while I'm looking for this picture, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do. Well, we can kind of see what you do, but what led you to YouTube?
Well, I've actually built more of a Twitter following on YouTube. I've got about 1,000 followers now.
Cool.
Basically, I remember watching, you and Rondo and Law Tide, like all the OG, TTC guys. I still remember, like when I was in high school, I would be in the computer lab watching y'all's videos.
So you've been around for a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, I still remember the day where I actually met you in person, and it took you a minute to remember it.
Yeah. Oh, tell that story since Bill for it's weird that Bill for VOLS is in the comments tonight.
Get Bill in here. Bill, come in here.
Well, I don't know if he'll come in here or not. That's up to him. He's always welcome to come in.
Oh,
but
yeah.
tell the story. Let's see if he remembers.
Okay, so I want to say, was it the Buffalo game in 2011?
Definitely wasn't the Buffalo game because I didn't go to that game. I don't know what game it was.
I went to the Montana game and the LSU game that year. It was one of those. It might have been the LSU game.
No.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was a non-con game because it was early in the year.
2011. Who we been playing 2011? Somebody pull up the schedule.
Well, it doesn't matter what game.
Well, anyways, it was at a Tennessee home game. It was right there on the, I think, was it Peyton Manning Pass, the one right there in front of the stadium.
Yeah.
And I was walking down, and I seen you and Bill, just sitting over there smoking. You sitting over there smoking a cigarette, and I came and sat down next to you. I was 16 at the time, and I was a lot skinnier.
I was a lot fatter actually back then. But it it took me a second to get that when I was like, "Doppelganger, okay, is there another BBD in the chat?" Because that has happened.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Bill? I remember it. Once he mentioned it, I remember it vividly because I was standing up on the wall
Yeah,
right there
because
where the band sits. You know,
yeah,
they
right there where all
the
the season ticket holders and people with money tailgate at, right there in front of the stadium.
yeah, and Bill was standing down on the sidewalk, and
Yeah,
I
because I
used to
think
have
this.
a picture of Bill from up there.
Yeah, because I still remember when he got that Power T tattoo on his arm. I still remember that.
There's a question for you. Was I nice to you that day? Of course I was.
Oh no, he was such a jerk and he was so mean and he's like, get on out of here. And no, I'm joking. No,
I'm
he was
always
cool.
nice, B Bean. What are you talking about, man? I've never
Listen,
not been nice.
BVD's a good Christian man. He reads his daily Bible verses. He goes to church on Sunday and Wednesdays. You know, he does all that. He's a good man.
There could be some there could be some truth to some of that statement.
Yeah,
About that much.
I'm just trying to hype you up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The part where you said BBD is a good, and if you stopped right there, you'd be okay. But I do not profess by any means to be a good Christian man. Not that I have a thing against Christianity. I just don't know where I'm at with that. So that's a conversation for
That's a
Edward's channel
conversation. That's a conversation
or
for a different day.
TK's channel. And that's not a bad thing, you know. Um, I'm always open to talk about that kind of stuff. Just not here, just not now, and just not today. So,
Oh yeah.
well, whatever game that was, I remembered it. It took me a second when you told us
Yeah.
about that. And the only reason I remember it because back then I used to have people, walk up and say, "Hey, man, I saw your video." Blah 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 blah, and it happened, quite a bit, surprisingly. And so when you were saying that, I was sitting here thinking, man, I've had a ton of people. But when you said Bill for Vols was there and I was standing up on the bank, I remember that just like it happened yesterday now.
I still remember
So,
that. I just can't remember the game. I can't remember which one it was. But
yeah. Did Bill say he remembered it or not? Let's see.
Oh, there's my boy Lucas.
Lucas Sharp.
He's a good friend of mine.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he lives up in the La Follette area.
I don't know about that comment, B Bean. I have subscribers because I always tell the truth. I think everybody tells a little fib every now and then. Now, when it comes to Tennessee football, I never, ever, 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 ever lie. Like
That's
the
right.
statement I'm about to make, Tennessee is going to win the national championship.
Damn right.
I don't know when.
I don't know. It'll happen though.
But I don't even know if it's going to be in my lifetime or not. Could be this year. What's up, Squid Tard? Oi.
Could be. I mean, I'm very high on Nico. I mean, I think Nico's going to do great things, and it was one throw. Yeah. See, like I said, I do a lot more on Twitter than on YouTube. Now, when it comes to YouTube, I'll do videos like VicTube, or I'll go on Pete's show or whatever. I kind of just pop it. It's just with what I do, with how you got, whenever I do it, I want to actually have like an actual setup, like where it doesn't look kind of cheap.
Well, you know what? There's some truth to what I'm about to say. The setup doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't know if you or anybody else in here has ever watched Casey Neistat, but he used to do. Oh hell, he may still do them for all I know. He's done some of the most amazing YouTube videos you'll ever see, and people used to ask him all the time, "What kind of equipment do you use? What kind of equipment do you use?" And his answer was always the same. He'd tell what kind of equipment he'd use, but then he'd say, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you use, what kind of background you got. If your content sucks, nobody's going to watch and subscribe. That's just fact, But now there's people on YouTube whose content does suck, but they got millions of subscribers. So
That's a fact.
there's a niche for everybody on here. I 14 years, I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is, but I'll figure it out one of these days.
You'll
So
figure it out eventually.
yeah. I didn't see that, Chad, in all divisions. That's amazing. District tournament play, I think, starts what, tomorrow, Chad? And then Greenville. Explain this to me. So district play starts tomorrow, but then Greenville has a home game Friday. I mean, I get that it's not like basketball, uh, where you have a tournament and there can be a bunch of games on a certain night, because basketball only lasts an hour or so. Um, so I'm not sure how that works. You'll have to explain that one to me. And I will be there Friday if everything, if weather cooperates, which it should. It's supposed to be fairly nice Friday. But I need to get in what I can get in before next week gets here because, as everybody knows, I'm going back under the friggin' knife. I was so tired of talking about health shit on here, and then this happens. But if they had taken this stent out of me last year like they were supposed to, I may not have been having the gallbladder problems. And actually, if they'd have taken the stent out and the gallbladder out last year, I wouldn't be having these problems. Hopefully everything goes okay. Hopefully that stent isn't fused to my body. That's the concern right now. They're worried that because it's been in there so long, the tissue is grown around it and connected to it. And, hopefully I don't bleed out next
Yeah,
week.
that could
So.
be that could be an issue.
Okay, so it alternates between Carson Newman and LMU. So how and why are they here Friday, Chad? What's going on with that? Um, See, I'm kind of stupid. I don't understand certain things. I do understand that Greenville's
Ever
baseball
since
team is great. Go ahead, bud.
I mean, ever since my cousin played baseball in 2011, was an All-American in baseball, and played at Tennessee, and he ended up transferring to Middle Tennessee State because that was back in 2012 and 2013 when he was at Tennessee.
When we sucked.
I didn't really care. Yeah, I think he came in during a bad time, but yeah, he was a consensus All-American in baseball. His name's Jared Allen. He ended up not really going to the pros or anything. I mean, because he ended up transferring to Middle Tennessee State. But I mean, at least I can say, I've had family members that have went to Tennessee, and unfortunately, I didn't get to go. But now, if they had a wrestling team, that'd be different.
Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense now, Chad. I get it. So, assuming we win Thursday night, which I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, then we'll be at home Friday night, correct? What if something were to happen and we were to lose Thursday? Would that be is that like a death game? No, we go to region play anyway, so we could conceivably even lose Thursday, right? And we've lost TriStar. He'll be back though. We'll ask him that when he comes back, B Bean, if he comes from a truck driving family or not. Yeah, I lost him a couple of times when I was waiting to come on here, so he might be in a bad spot. There we go. He's back. We still make region. Okay, so it's not a win or go home game. It's gonna be a win. It's gonna be a win anyway. I get that, but I got you. You can explain this all to me Friday, Chad. Where are you at right now? What state are you in?
I am in the state of Iowa, in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anywhere near Ames, Iowa?
No, I'm actually closer to Sioux City.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Sioux City. Funny you should mention. People have been telling me that's what I should have done to the hospital. I should have sued them, but it's whatever. Anyway, go ahead, bud.
But yeah, I mean, there's nothing here except a Hardee's.
Oh God, of all the restaurants, that poor place.
Yeah,
freaking Hardee's. Wait a minute, why is this trying to? Get
There
my
you go.
there we go. Keep it in front of my ugly mouth. He's got a pretty mouth.
Got a real pretty mouth, boy.
So what do you do like during football season? It's a Saturday, you're out on the road and Tennessee's playing. Do you park that bitch and fire the game up somewhere
What
or
I'll do, yeah, what I'll do is I'll, because I've got cable at my house, I've got Spectrum, and I've got the TV app on my phone, so I'll play it and I'll just I might glance at it for just a split second, but I'll be listening to it, so that way I know what's going on. And usually, what I started doing last year is I started doing play-by-play when I was at home. I started doing my own VOL network version of it, and people seem to like it.
is that what'd you do that on Twitter or Twitch or something? Or?
On Twitter Spaces, I just get people in there and
Oh,
people.
okay. Maybe I need to look into this Twitter Spaces thing.
It's great. You get a lot of people on there. Like regularly, I'll have like 15, 20 people in there at a time. It's just sometimes it can get a little heated, especially me with Alabama fans. It's very fun. I like trolling Alabama fans. I always tell them, "Oh yeah, y'all sleep with your cousins or something just trash talk and all that stuff." And they get very mad. They're very sensitive.
Yeah,
Because
sensitivity definitely happens.
oh yeah, like for example, if you don't say how they're going 15-0 and win championship this year with Kevin Steele and Tommy Reese, I mean they think you're crazy.
Noah, here around 9:15 or so, I'll drop the link to bring people in, and we'll keep TriStar on here as long as he wants to stay. If he wants to stay the whole show, we will. Or...
I got all night.
Okay. So when was your first Tennessee game? But actually, scratch that question. When can you remember first seeing and or loving Tennessee football? Like what was it that hooked you?
Well, the easy answer for me would say 98 because my dad went to all the home games and I can kind of remember, especially the later part of the season, because I was going on 4 years old. But probably the first season I really remember and got into was 2001.
No worries, Noah.
I still remember watching that Georgia game. I was at my grandmother's house, old Mama Pat. I was at her house because my dad was at that game, and I'm still mad over that one. I'm still mad over trying that onside kick, but that's been over 20 years ago.
Yeah. I get it, man. There's some games that happened back in the day that I'm still pissed about. I mean, it's kind of stupid if you think about it, but
Yeah, like the SEC championship 2007. How is it we have LSU beat, and then we throw a pick six?
Something called Matt Mock. Is that the game you're talking about where Rohan Davey got hurt? We were ahead. No, or was that a regular season game? I think that was a regular season game.
I think that was a regular season game. Well, see.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was the SEC
Matty
championship game.
Matty Mock. Wasn't he at Missouri?
There was a Matty Mock at Missouri, but this is a different Mock.
Matt
and
Mock.
I may have his first name wrong, but it was definitely Mock. And I think it was Matt. Help me out in the comments. I know Flint probably knows. Ed might even know.
Which game are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure it was SEC championship game because I feel like it. I may be wrong.
I think that would have been like 01.
I feel like it was in the dome or something. No, it was in the dome. Yeah.
We've yet to play a SEC championship game at Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
Matt Mock, I want to say he was the quarterback for LSU in 01.
Now that you're right. His name was Matty Mock. I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
Because the Matty Mock I remember vividly was one that played at Missouri.
It was Matt. It was Matt Mock at LSU too. It was his name was spelled different. His is Mauck. And then Matty. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm probably spelling his name wrong. Matty Mock, M-A-T-Y, last name spelled the same, M-A-U-K. How weird is that? To have
Very weird.
two Matt Mocks. But yeah, man, we were beating LSU. Fat ass Rohan Davey was quarterback for LSU. They had beaten us in the regular season, I think. Help me out
No,
here.
we had beaten them. Because you remember that was the first Tennessee game after 9/11. That was the one where Kelly Washington went off. God, he was a good.
I hate my memory. I swear.
That was 01. That was the first Tennessee game after 9/11. Because you remember we were supposed to play Florida, but then because of 9/11 they postponed it to the end of the year.
I know there was the game, the LSU game, first game after the big hurricane.
Yeah, that was 2005. That was that one where Gerald Riggs, Chattanooga guy, conveniently enough, ran it in overtime where we came back.
What was our quarterback's name? He had transferred from LSU. It was brother. It was a brother of Clausen. It was not Casey Clausen.
Yeah,
Rick Clausen.
It was
yeah,
Rick Clausen.
Came in and went off on LSU. Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of felt bad for them that night. Kind of felt bad for LSU that night.
Oh yeah, because I mean that was the first home game after Katrina, and that was actually Les Miles' first season there. Because that was right after Nick Saban had left.
Right.
And I still remember watching that game. A 10-year-old me was so hyped up when we came back, and my local guy Gerald Riggs Jr., who conveniently, when this guy was a kid, he trained, and that guy was Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A guy who Jeremy Pruitt said, "Oh, we need to have him as a defensive back," and that's why he didn't come to Tennessee.
What was your thoughts when Tennessee announced that they were hiring Jeremy Pruitt?
Are you talking about like when they got rid of Jeremy Pruitt?
No, when they hired him.
Well.
Were you for it, against it, or kind of indifferent?
I was indifferent. I was like, well, hopefully it works out, because I mean that was right when Kirby Smart got it cooking down there at Georgia. I was like, well, maybe it'll work. I mean, there was one Saban to say.
Oh, we lost him again. I just remember all the Georgia fans telling me, and probably all the other Tennessee fans, "Oh, you're going to hate Jeremy Pruitt. This is a mistake. He's a douchebag. Y'all are going to hate him." And they were right. I mean, they were right. There we go.
I think I've just got bad signal out here, because, like I said, I'm way out here in the sticks.
Right. Yeah, it happens.
That could be it, but it happens. We'll get through it. I mean, it's happened on Nick Saban Jr.'s YouTube channel too. But he didn't use StreamYard; he used something different. But what was that question again?
It was something about Jeremy Pruitt.
Oh yeah, like my thoughts on it. Basically, I was like, maybe it'll work, because I mean, he did have some really good defenses there at Alabama. You know, they're in 16 and 17. I was like, maybe it'll work. Because that was right when Kirby Smart got it cooking over there at Georgia.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe. But then
yeah,
he being an idiot and not knowing what he's doing.
Things were all out of whack at Tennessee still, and we just brought Fulmer back as AD, and it was a feel-good moment for a lot of us, I guess, to have Fulmer back, because when I was coming up, it was the norm. The athletic director at just about every SEC school was a former player.
A former head coach.
Yeah, and a former head coach, yeah. So our athletic director when I was coming up was Doug Dickey, a former Florida guy.
Well, he did coach at Tennessee too, so I mean.
Yeah, but he was, and he's been one of our best ADs. I like this guy we got now. Danny Boy.
White. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Here's my thing. Now I was going to ask you this because you're old enough to remember it. I've heard from a lot of older Tennessee fans that they don't like Fulmer because they felt like he betrayed and was a snake to Johnny Majors. Like he
Yeah.
wouldn't give his word to be the coach.
Well, I loved Fulmer at first before I found out the story. I didn't find out the story about him and Johnny till after I'd moved back to Tennessee and had more access to newspapers and radio shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina when Fulmer was brought in as head coach. What year was it? 92?
That was well.
Um,
I'll fill people in on the story of how this happened. So back in like '89 or '90, they brought Johnny Majors hired Fulmer as the offensive coordinator, and then in '92, he had a heart attack, wasn't it? Like he had a heart attack or a stroke
Johnny,
or
yeah.
something.
Johnny was in the hospital.
Yeah, he was in the hospital. He had some kind of health condition, and they made Fulmer the interim head coach. Well, then they start winning some games, and they beat Georgia, who they think they was going to beat, and they won a couple other games. Well, Johnny Majors comes back, and then I think they lost to LSU. They lost like 3 straight games, and everybody was like, "Okay, yeah, we need to go with Fulmer."
The fan base was definitely divided there for a while. Basically, the way I was told and the way it was understood by me on the radio shows, in a more layman's terms way of putting it, Johnny's in the hospital and Fulmer's, leaning over his hospital bed, whispering in his ear, "I got you, Johnny. I got your back, coach. I love you, man. I'm gonna do you right." And at the same time, he was in the athletic director's ear saying, "Johnny's not got it anymore. We need to let him go. I'm the guy. I need to be the head coach." Now, like I said, it depends on who you believe, I guess, but that's the story that I've always understood. And so part of me has always been like, screw Fulmer. He did that to my guy. But at the same time, Fulmer was clearly the right guy for the job at the time and the right guy for the job. I felt like when he quote unquote retired, was forced out basically, that was a huge mistake. The AD was making. Getting rid of Fulmer that year was a huge mistake. I think he deserved at least one more year. I don't know how much of that you heard.
Well, last thing I heard was about him in the hospital and him talking to Doug.
Right. What I was saying was it was definitely, the right move as far as him winning games and stuff goes. But also at the end of his career when he retired, he was actually forced out. I felt like
Yeah.
he deserved at least one more year. He had earned that,
Now, are you talking about Fulmer or Majors?
Fulmer.
Yeah.
He definitely deserved one more year.
If you think about it, they had just made the SEC championship the previous year. Cutcliffe was gone. They had all new offensive players, and I feel like they kind of jumped the gun a little too quick. I mean, I still remember when all that was going on, and I was getting into like Tennessee message boards back in the day. And it was still pretty divided because of the fact, it seemed like Fulmer kind of just stopped giving a shit about recruiting. Like,
Which
if you
is
remember going back
unimaginable.
To he felt like, they'll just come because it's Tennessee. And he was still coasting off that national championship they won 10 years prior. Well,
got lazy, basically.
He got lazy.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And he didn't want to change with the times, and he didn't want to hire an offensive coordinator to overshine him. He wanted to be the man. He didn't want to hire a young up-and-coming offensive coordinator that maybe would have a revolutionary offense.
That's actually what he did. Was he hired a young up-and-coming offensive guy, Dave Clawson. You know where Dave Clawson's at now, right?
I want to say
He's the head. He's the
at
head
Wake
coach at.
Forest.
Yep, he's the head coach at Wake Forest. So he's doing good things. I mean, nobody ever thought Wake Forest would ever challenge for an ACC championship. The thing with Dave Clawson was back then,
I,
when Fulmer hired him, our offense was shit that first year. And Clawson said when he was hired, he said, "Look, it takes at least 2 years to implement my offense." And he said it'll be 2 years before you see the value. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here. Before you see the value of my offense, and he was right. And that's why I think if Fulmer had gotten another year, the offense would have gotten better. They would have clicked, and obviously, Fulmer wouldn't still be there now. But I don't think we would have went through this Lane Kiffin, Derek Dooley, Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, Josh Heupel shit.
yeah, it would have been I had to turn my camera off because I'm thinking maybe that'll work better.
They could.
And
Oh, here's
but
what
like I said,
go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, 'cause I still remember all that crap that was going on, and I still remember on message boards it was very divided. Some guys wanted him gone immediately. Like it was really the straw that broke the camel's back was that Wyoming game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I remember in 2005 they wanted Fulmer gone because if you remember, we went that season preseason ranked number 3. We were predicted to possibly play for a national championship that year, but then they barely
Underachieving.
beat UAB. Massive underachievement. I think it was Jason Swain said it, or it was one of the VFLs from around that time said it, that with the talent that we had on those teams, we should have won at least another, maybe 2 other more national titles, and definitely a few more SEC titles.
Yeah, it just shows you how hard it is to win either one of those. And that they always said the same thing about Johnny. Tennessee should have won at least 1 or 2 national championships under Johnny Majors with some of the teams he had. Some of
Yeah,
those
definitely
teams,
those
but
late 80s teams.
Johnny
Like
he couldn't beat Alabama, and Fulmer couldn't beat Florida.
yeah, it was always one team. Like
Turn
hell,
your
I would
camera back
say
on
that.
for a second.
Okay.
All right, so you see me and TriStar now. Who looks more like my son, TriStar or my actual son? Now, I don't know how well Kevin likes this picture. I don't even know if Kevin watches my shows anymore or not. But that's my biological son, and that's my current YouTube son. So you guys decide.
It's probably because I smoke, I wear glasses, I got a beard. And
We
I'm from
do.
East
I
Tennessee.
mean, we do resemble each other. We both got that beard where we can't grow mustache. Our glasses are identical. I mean, we both smoke. What brand of cigarettes do you smoke? Somebody asked earlier if we smoke the same thing. I doubt we do. No, definitely not. I smoke pussy cigarettes. So Pete McGaha says it's too close to call. Ed says 50-50. Let's take another gander. Let's take another look here. Well, see now my biological son Kevin can grow an actual mustache. I don't know where he gets that from because his biological mom couldn't grow a mustache.
Well, I was going to say, if his biological mother was able to grow a mustache, I'd be having some questions.
Yeah, she's not Italian.
God, where's my guy stuntman John where you need him? When
She was I don't know, do bitches grow mustaches? She was a complete. I don't care to talk trash about her because I know she don't watch the channel, and I know she
don't
was
walk either.
She was a turd back then, and I guarantee you she's probably a turd right now.
That's right.
No,
That's
chances
right.
are people generally don't change.
She didn't deserve you.
Exactly.
You was too good for her.
She's the reason I gave up. Her and her mom is the reason I gave Kevin up for adoption. Because I was gonna keep him. Me and my mom, hell, I was gonna grow up. I was gonna
be
move
a
back
man.
home. Yeah, I was gonna be a man, grow up, move back home with mom, and
And she felt like that's not man enough. Like you had to have your own place.
no,
Right?
she was her mom. She was a bitch. Her mom was a c word,
Yeah.
a aunt.
We,
You know,
we know.
yeah, there might be some in the chat that don't know. Vandy
Yeah.
Dandy's not too smart.
Well,
He-
he's a Vanderbilt fan. That's like her little brother. It's kind of like with Georgia and Georgia Tech. Like they're the smart kids over there in Nashville. That I don't know.
Right, I got you.
I mean, at least they got baseball.
Yeah, well, they didn't even have that this year against us. I mean, we may live to regret that sweep when it comes tournament time, but we'll see. But yeah, man, she's God, I hate that I even started talking about that because I regretted for
That's some bad
years.
memories.
Yeah, I regretted for years giving him up, man. Every year I think about him all the time, and I tried many times to try and find him. And when his birthday would roll around, I'd always be wondering, okay, he's 5 today. I wonder what he's doing. I hope his dad's out teaching him to play ball and stuff. But looking back now and looking at the life that Kevin has, I definitely made the right decision for him. Maybe it wasn't the right
Yeah, I
decision for
mean,
me, but for him, and in the end, that's all that matters. He has
that's
amazing
all that
parents.
matters.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet his parents. I want to shake his dad's hand and say thank you and give his mom a hug and say thank you because adoptions don't always work out
And
the
I could
best.
just imagine how hard that was, because I've got 2 daughters, and I
Yeah.
couldn't ever, like, even with me and my wife, us having our struggles financially at times and all that stuff, and we're thinking how are we gonna be able to afford this. I couldn't bring myself to give my kids away because I would feel like I was failing them, like I
Yeah.
wasn't stepping up to the plate. Which
Well, I
I'm
didn't
not
even
saying people are giving.
you don't know the story, I'm sure, but I didn't even know she was pregnant when we split up. I had no
Oh,
idea.
okay.
Yeah.
So y'all was together, y'all split up, and then she calls you and says, "Guess what? You're gonna be a dad."
No, she didn't even call me. She never let me know she was pregnant. In fact, she had lost her job and was laying around the house every day
Are you
eating.
serious? She never even told you?
No, she was laying around
Wow.
eating food. I thought she was just getting fat, because she wasn't working. And so I finally left her, and I'm working, and I get a phone call several months later from one of my good friends. I get a phone call at work, and my friend Kathy doesn't say hi, how are you, nothing. The first words out of her mouth was, "Kitty had your baby." I was like, "Huh? You got
Wait, what?
the wrong number?" And she said,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Is
Kitty's
this
at the
Frank?
hospital. Kitty's at the hospital. She just had your baby." And I literally fainted for a second, you know.
Yeah,
And then
because you're probably thinking, why was I not told this until
yeah,
now?
exactly.
And I would
What the
have
hell do you
prepared for
mean?
this.
What do you mean she just had my baby? We've been broke up for months. And I called the hospital and found out she was indeed there and was indeed pregnant or had just had the baby. And she called me. If I, best I remember, the details are kind of sketchy at this point, but she called me and said, "We need you to come down and sign papers. We're giving baby up for adoption." And I was like, "Well, wait a minute. What do you mean you're giving the baby up for adoption?" She said, "Yeah, we're giving him up for adoption. I can't raise a baby." And so I was talking to my mom about it, and I didn't go down there immediately and sign the papers. I said, "No, this ain't happening."
Like,
So
this is something I need to think about.
yeah, I was talking to my mom about it, and she said, "Look, why don't you come back home? I'll help you raise the baby, and we'll keep this baby and we'll give it a good life." And I was like, "All right, I'm down. I'll do that. That's the right thing to do." So I went and told them, "No, I'm not signing the papers. Me and my mom want to keep the baby." And her mom, like I said, her mom was a fucking bit.
She was not a good person. We'll just say that
Yeah,
she wasn't.
she said, "We're not doing that. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're giving this baby up for adoption." I said, "The baby is half mine. You
I have
know, if
just as much say.
if we need to do paternity test, whatever,
I'll
let's
do
do
it.
it because I'm keeping my son." And she said, "I promise you, if you fight us on this, we'll make your life a living hell for 18 years. Basically, his whole life till he becomes an adult." And I talked it over with my mom. We talked about it for days, and we both ultimately decided that, if we keep this child and she does what she says she's going to do, she's going to make our life hell. She's going to make his life hell. And what kind of life is he going to have? So ultimately, I decided to give him up and sign the papers and let him, be adopted. And, you know,
Yeah, that
uh,
sucks. You had to go through that, man. I didn't know any of this stuff. And for people that might want to know why I turned the camera off, the StreamYard for me, maybe because where I'm at, it works better without my camera on.
right. I got you. So anyway, I tried for years to try and find him, and it was a sealed adoption. He actually found us 3 years ago. In fact, this July will be 3 years ago that he found us. Um, he found her first. He got a break in his searching for us. He got a break and found out through someone else about this woman that is probably his sister. So he got a hold of her. He got a hold of Kitty, his birth mom, thinking it was his sister. And she's like, "No, I'm not your sister. I'm your mom." And he asked, how to find, if she knew how to find me. And she said, "Yeah, absolutely. It's on YouTube, Facebook." And he sent me a message on Facebook, and I didn't see it for like 4 days. He sent me a message. I never saw the message. And one night, this actually happened on a live stream, dude. Um, I'm in a live stream one night, and there's this guy in there asking me, "Hey, BBD, does the date 7/14/89 ring a bell to you?" And I'm racking my brain. I'm like, man, I know what I was doing in '89. Smoking a lot of weed back then, partying. I said, "Nah, man, I don't." And then she came in the chat, and I thought I was getting trolled.
His mother.
Yeah, his birth mother was in there too. And I, like I said, I thought people were trolling the shit out of me. Flint, Gate City remembers. Um, and so finally, after debating this with them, whether or not I was getting trolled, one of them, I think it was her that said, "Go check your Facebook messages." And I went and looked, and sure enough, there's a message from Kevin. "Hey, this is going to sound really strange, but I'm your son. I'm your birth son, Kevin. And, I'm not messaging you to ask for anything. I just have some health related questions." And I still didn't
I
believe
can.
him, because think about it. This has been 31 years ago. And I'd searched for this kid. Well, I'd searched for this guy for years and finally had kind of gotten past it. And now all of a sudden, and I talked about it in live streams earlier about having given up a son for adoption. In fact, I talked about it like 2 weeks before he found us. That's what's weird too. I'd just been talking about this. And that's why I thought I was getting trolled, because I knew I'd talked about it a couple of weeks previous. And now there's these, what I thought, fucking assholes in the comments section
They're
trolling me
trolling
about it.
you.
Yeah. But they finally, I said, "I'm going to need to see some pictures first to prove that this is you," meaning the woman, Kitty. And she sent me a picture of herself. I was like, "That's her." And then I asked her a question. I say, "Okay, if this is really you, tell me what happened the last time you and I ever talked." And she told me. I was like, "Oh my God, that's really her." And I said, "Okay, how about a picture of Kevin?" And they sent me a picture of him when he was 18, and I just lost it, broke down in tears, and
Oh, I can imagine.
it was crazy.
So I seen you. Yeah, that picture of him. Did Did y'all set up something where y'all could meet?
Oh, well, that's interesting. Funny you should ask. B Bean, no, I didn't know before meeting. I didn't know anything about him. Nothing. All I knew was he was a male. That's it. Um, so we talked every day for the first year after we met that night, texting, but we talked every day. And long before that, he got connected up with my daughter, and they set up between the two of them. They set up a meeting. Him coming over here. So I'm sitting here in the couch, uh, literally passed out, nodded out on the couch with my mouth open and a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. And she comes walking in through the kitchen, and she's like, Dad, Dad. And I'm like, what? And I look over, and there's these two strange people behind her. At first, I thought it was two of her friends, and I was like, oh my God. Then I recognized him, and it was crazy.
So
Crazy.
where did he end up living? Like, did he
He
move far
he
away,
lives,
or?
he lives not far from Raleigh at all, which is where he was born. He lives about an hour from there. Let's see.
Oh, so the family that adopted him lived in the Raleigh area.
At the time, I think, as he told me, if I remember right, at the time, I think they may have lived in Greensboro or somewhere like that.
But they were in the same state, though. It wasn't like
Yeah.
they
Oh yeah.
lived out in
Yeah.
like California or whatever.
Yeah. It worked out great for Kevin. He's got
So,
amazing parents. He's got an amazing job. Um, they own a convenience store distributorship.
oh
And it's
wow.
like, it's in the top 20, I think he said, in the country for, oh, hell yeah, I was nervous, Noah. Um, it's one of the bigger ones, in the country. Um, so they're doing great. I mean, Kevin works for his dad there, and Kevin's wife also works there.
So did he like start searching for you? Like, is that how he kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
did he always know he was adopted, or was it like something he found out when he got older?
No, they told him. I think he said they told him when he was 18.
Like, hey, just so you
Either
know, like
13.
we're
It
not
might
your
have been
biological
13. It might
parents.
have been 13. It was either 13 or 18, because it was either they told him when he was 13 and he'd been looking for us for 18 years, or they told him when he was 18 and he'd been looking for us for 13 years, because he was 31 at the time he found us. Um,
See,
trying to figure out
that's crazy.
how the hell I search for something on my own channel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, send me that link where they popped in, and I'll go and watch it later. You can, just DM me that, and I'll go and watch it.
Yeah, you don't want to watch the whole stream.
Oh no,
Um,
just like you can just like put timestamps in there or something like that.
well, here we go. Let's just do this. I'd have to make something to remind me to check my phone. Hope the family issues are okay. Well, actually, no, I won't. Sorry. You're guessing from high school, correct? Okay, here we go. Um, he's changed his name a couple. There she is, right there, right there. I don't know if you can see that, Kitty and Hijack. That's her name on here. Chewy Louie, wow. Chewy Louie, yeah, that was his name on here when he first came in. Hang on, let the comments catch up. I'm reading the comments while all this is happening.
Yeah, you're probably thinking, is this for real?
Yeah. No fucking way. Yeah, that's when I discovered it or whatever. They sent me a picture of him, and here's him at 18 years old.
Wow.
It's just all sinking in right now as we're watching. I don't know who this person is, but we finally
Sent me a friend request, Kevin.
So
we
is that his
finally
name
ended
of
the stream.
birth? Yeah. So was that Kevin's name of birth, or did his adopted parents name him Kevin?
Yeah, his adopted parents named him. She told me his name was David when he was born. But I didn't think you named when you give kids up for adoption, I didn't think you named them. I don't know how that works, because once I signed the papers, that was it. But if you ever want to go back and watch it, it starts about an hour or so into the stream. I don't know. I'll drop the link in here. If anybody wants to go back and watch it, you're certainly welcome to. Think it'll work like this. Yeah, that should be it right there. So if you want to kill some time, B Bean, my chosen name for him would have been Nealon Bryan. If I ever had a boy, that's what his name was going to be. So I'm sure he's really glad that I didn't. I joked. I said, "Man, I bet when you found me and the first time you saw me on YouTube, your first thought was probably, whew, thank God he gave me up." But anyway, there is the link if anybody wants to go back and watch that. It starts about an hour in or so.
Yeah, that's just so crazy. Like,
Yeah.
that I just couldn't imagine, how that would be. Get told when you're 18 or whatever, like, hey, yeah, we're actually not your biological parents. We adopted you when you was a baby.
Yeah. Nuts. It's actually for a live stream got quite a few views, and it's a little over 1,000 views for a live stream. That's for a live stream for me. That's pretty good. But I just trying to look at it from an outsider's perspective. I thought, hell, that's a pretty cool story. People might, be interested in that. Because I've got and have had friends in my life that were adopted. In fact, one of my closest friends in the world is adopted, and I've asked him many times, "Do you ever wonder about your parents? Do you ever think about your biological parents? Would you ever want to meet them?" And he's always like, "Hell no, fuck them. They didn't want me." And I used to always wonder, does he think that? Does he think that? Because I had no way of knowing if he knew he was
Yeah, I
adopted or
mean,
if.
some people will have a resentment towards their biological parents. They're like,
Yeah,
well, you didn't want me or something like that. But it sounds like from what you said, it was kind of you didn't really have much of a choice.
right. I mean, technically, yeah, I had and I've told him exactly what went down, and
Like,
you
you
know,
wanted to keep him, but it was his
yeah.
mother was like, we're going to make your life hell and
Well,
all that stuff.
he, I don't know if he would want me saying this or not, but I'm gonna take a chance because he generally don't care what we talk about on here about as far as he goes. But he flew out to meet his birth mother.
Now, does she still live in that Raleigh area, or does she
No,
like move
no,
on?
she lives over on the West Coast. But he flew out. Him and his wife flew out to meet her, and I told him, he asked me about her before he went out, and I said, well, I don't know anything about her now, so I'm not going to trash her. But all I can do is
But at
tell
the
you,
time,
I can tell you what she was like when you were born. That's all I can tell you. And and I said, and I have a feeling she's probably not changed much, you know. And sure enough, um, he stayed out there. I think they stayed out there a few days, and he texted me and he said, I think I have a feeling you might be right about her. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I feel like this is probably the only time I'll ever see or talk to her. And I haven't asked him in a long time, but I think that was the only time that he's ever seen or talked to her. Um,
well, I
but
mean,
you know, that's
at least I guess you can say he got to see her in person and see with his own eyes. That way, it's not this like,
I mean, they stayed over there for like 3 or 4 days, so they hung out and
yeah.
um, you know,
But at least he's got closure with her.
yeah, yeah. And he has been beyond cool with me.
Yeah.
Who was it? This one, Hudson asked, "Do I still talk?" Yes. We don't
Oh, I'm
text every
sure.
day like we did the first year. I'm not kidding you. The first year, literally every single day, because I was keeping up. You know, I was keeping up with
Well,
it.
yeah, I can imagine. He
Um,
was excited.
we talked every day, and looking at it from my end, I don't want or expect anything out of him, and he doesn't want or expect anything out of me. So the way I looked at it and look at it now, any kind of relationship I can have with him is awesome. Um,
Yeah, even if that means y'all just go to Hardee's and eat in the morning or something. I mean,
right. And I've only seen him the one time. And you know, it was my plan to go to Raleigh. I wanted to go this month, but I can't afford it. And I wanted to go over there and go see him for a few days, you know. He's coming over here in July, I think, to Pigeon Forge. Um,
okay.
I think his son
Yeah,
has
yeah,
a
y'all can.
baseball tournament or something over here in July. Oh yeah, I'm going down. Hell yeah, I'm going. Unless he says no, don't come. Which you know he's already said. Look forward to seeing you. Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, y'all can go to Pigeon Forge and y'all can ride go karts and play mini golf.
well, I'm just looking forward to meeting. I don't know if it's just him and his son coming or his whole family or what. I've met his wife. She's amazing. Amazing woman, great woman. He couldn't have done any better. And I haven't met the kids yet, and I don't know how he will want to approach that. You know, who am I? Who is this guy? You know what? I don't know who he's going to tell
Yeah,
them.
who's this East Tennessee hillbilly trying to,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
I
can
told him
imagine.
whatever they decide to tell his kids is fine with me, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But I would feel like, the whole resentment thing, I would feel like he would have more resentment with her than you. Because, like, I'm thinking this, if I went through that kind of situation, I would say, okay, well, I met him and he told me he wanted to keep me, but basically he was forced to play the hand he was dealt. And basically, she was saying how he's going to make his life miserable and all that stuff. And he
we
didn't want
talked
to make,
about that night. In fact, after I ended the stream, me and Kevin and Kitty got together on a Skype call, and we talked about it. We talked about how I found out she was with the child. We talked about me wanting to keep him, and she agreed with everything I said. So he knows
so she
that.
didn't deny it.
No, he knows I wasn't just making that shit up because she confirmed it, you know? So, he knows, but the thing is, TriStar, I don't want him to have any resentment for her, uh, obviously, or me either. I want him, and he is, I'm sure, to be grateful and thankful that things turned out the way they did because he has an awesome and amazing family of his own. He's had an awesome and amazing life. Um, his parents are awesome and amazing, and I'm sure he knows that. And all I want is for him to be happy and thankful that things turned out the way they did.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Well, I'm happy for you that you got to at least see him in person, and you'll get to see him again
yeah,
here in a couple of months. And I'm happy he's having a successful life. It sounds like he's doing well for himself, and he's married, and he's got kids of his own. And
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a great, great young man. I haven't spent enough time with him to know everything about him, obviously, but I've talked to him enough, and I just know what an amazing human he's turned out to be, and
oh
that
yeah,
at the end of the day, that is all that matters.
and there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff because my oldest daughter, I actually ended up adopting her. That was my wife's daughter before we
Yeah,
ever even met. And
yeah,
see her, she's from Chattanooga. I'm not gonna say their names, but basically, she got pregnant from like a one night stand kind of thing, and her dad wants nothing to do with her, and and even she'll tell you like, I don't need him. I've got me. My talking about myself. She's like, I don't need that guy. Like she don't even call him his dad. She literally just says, oh, he just donated me.
that's a funny question, B Bean, because you got to know your boy BVD was concerned about all of that. Once we started talking, once we started talking,
That question came up.
yeah, oh, absolutely. The first night, dude. We once we started talking, he said, "Well, do you have any questions for me?" And I said, "You're probably going to laugh and think this is the stupidest thing you've ever heard," something to that effect. I said, "But please tell me you're not an Alabama fan." And he laughed and he said, "No, he's an Oregon fan of all teams." So, and yes,
Wow, that's kind of ironic. It's one
he
of the
did go to
first videos
college.
I Yeah. Well, that's kind of ironic you say that because one of the first videos of yours I remember watching was that one where you did go to that Oregon game where it stormed very bad.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he's probably seen that video because I think I've talked to him about it.
My,
Um,
I can give you a funny story with that one. My dad and his best friend went to that game and they were sitting on the north end zone under that little roof thing, and they did not get wet at all. They just sat there while it was. He said there was a tornado warning in that
yeah, oh,
game.
it was scary, dude. That's the first and only football game I've ever been to in my life where I was literally scared for my life. It was cracking bolts of lightning everywhere. I mean, it was like pre-tornado weather, and people were freaking out and panicking, man. There was almost a trampling in one of the tunnels to get out from inside. I was sitting Me and my cousin were sitting in section QQ, upper deck,
Yeah.
on the west sidelines, and people were trying to at once get in out from the rain in them tunnels, and there were girls actually getting knocked down and stepped on. I mean, it was fucking scary.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you've got that many people and that kind of situation, I can just
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, it
But
was scary.
yeah, like I said, let's continue on. Let's get the ball
Yeah,
rolling.
sorry, man. I'm sorry the
Oh, hey,
conversation.
listen, man. That's something that I didn't even know. I actually enjoyed it. Like enjoyed learning about that. I didn't know that.
I'm gonna
But
drop the link too, because it's
yeah,
9:30.
and I
Anybody
want
that wants to join us,
Bill for Vols, please come in here. I want to see if you remember this that time.
I'm gonna guess that Bill's not still in here, because
He might not.
he's got a family. He might still be here. He might just be
Well, I
listening.
got a family too.
Well, you're in a truck in 6 states away. He's probably sitting in his living room or something
I mean,
watching.
I literally text my wife. I said, "Listen, hey, don't call or text me right now. I'm doing a YouTube show." I said, "I'll text you when I'm done." She said,
Cool.
"Okay."
You got a nice looking family, by the way. I saw a couple of pictures on Facebook. Happy for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And here's a funny thing. She's deaf.
Yeah, you told me that. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably a
A
good thing
deaf
for her.
black Alabama fan married a white redneck Tennessee fan. How that happened, I don't know.
I
Put
knew
two
she
together.
was
That's
black
all.
and I knew she was deaf, but I did not know the Alabama fan part.
You didn't
Hmm.
see my profile picture on my Facebook? You couldn't see the sweater she was wearing?
Well, I actually did see it, but I guess I really wasn't paying attention to what was on her sweater. I'm going back and looking right now. How the hell did I miss that?
Yeah, guess who bought that?
She's even got an Alabama toboggan on her head.
Yeah, she like I said, she's diehard.
Damn,
And what's
shame
funny
on you.
that on me,
Nah, I'm just kidding. Marrying a damn
okay.
Alabama fan. How could you be so disloyal? Now, that'd be interesting, I'm sure.
Well, I got a funny story about that. That picture that you used that I sent you for
Yeah.
the picture for the video, that was at my mom's house. We went to my mom's house to watch the Tennessee Alabama game this past year. And that picture, if you can't tell, I was pretty intoxicated
You
because
can't
my
tell from
glasses
the
were.
picture, but
Oh
what on
well. Anyways,
earth are you nervous about, Noah? Surely you're
why do
not
you have to?
nervous about coming in here.
Hey, I don't know, man. I'm a very unstable individual.
Oh, not you, Noah. He said he was nervous about coming in here and he's at work, but
The only thing I'd be nervous about is him during hunting season.
during
Yo,
hunting
what's up,
season.
guys?
What's up, Noah? How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Hey, can I get a can of Grizzly Wintergreen? I gotta
Oh,
go.
dude, I got anything you want, man.
Hey, here's a good question. Do you got any Brutons?
No, I don't have any of those, sadly.
What is that?
Do you even know what Bruton?
It's a type of snuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that powder stuff. Like you see these
Actually,
old
yes, I
ladies
Oh,
do.
with.
I
that's
do.
actual snuff.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
know exactly
powder.
I'll show you what you. Yeah, you're talking about like Garrett and Sons, like in the can.
Yeah, it's like a yeah. There it is, right there. That's Garrett. My great mama will dip that stuff. Like she get a spoon and just put
Hey,
it
how you
in her
doing, man?
lip.
A lot of my older customers like it, believe it or not.
I believe you are correct, B Bean. That looks like a tobacco store.
Yes, it's a tobacco beer store.
Okay. You don't have to, of course, but do you like? Oh, he's with a customer right now.
He's ringing up.
Tell your customer they're in front of millions and millions of people right now. If he wasn't a Tennessee fan, I would say we're watching an Alabama fan at work.
Green pom poms, gotcha. It is 5:47.
It is not. It's 9:34. Oh, we lost TriStar again. We'll get back to a conversation here in a second when there's TriStar's back. I was going to ask Noah where if he wants to say what city he lives in, but I was trying to see if I could see how much whatever that is back there. That's
Well, if
$3.49.
it's in the state of Tennessee, I can probably guess the prices.
Holy
I mean,
shit, $9.99 for a blue. That sounds about right.
who even buys those?
I tried them once when I was trying vaping. They're not bad.
Well, see, yeah, I see. Here's the thing: when I go into something, I go into it very heavy. Like when I went into vaping, I went and bought one of those like $200 that what they call them the mods, those big boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
where you can
apologize. No, I actually live in South Haven, Mississippi.
Oh,
South.
okay.
So he's
Yeah.
he's in Memphis.
So
Yeah.
how did you become a Tennessee fan?
At around 2010, I was just getting into college football, and my dad, he's a huge Tennessee fan. He went to the game where the ball sailed left and the earth moved against Florida back in '98. He's seen him play many times, and I just kind of fell in love with him. Even through the bad times, I've always loved Tennessee football.
I love
Always.
to hear that from young fans, especially.
Yep. I mean, I'm 24, but yeah, I mean, like in the time span that I've been a fan, it's been rough, but not last year. Last year was fun.
About 10 or 12 years or so
Yeah.
you've been a fan, right? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
about when most of us. I mean, I remember Tennessee football when I was a little boy,
Right.
8 years old because I remember my dad and my papa listening to John Ward on the radio.
Oh,
But I didn't go
man.
to my first Tennessee game till I was 1980, so 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, man, it's my very first game was actually sadly when we played Purdue in the back
Oh,
and that bowl game. 'Cause, I
man.
mean, I was there, and I'll tell you, it was a touchdown. There was no doubt about it.
Oh, it
a
was
touchdown.
clearly a touchdown.
It was a touchdown.
Clearly.
But yeah, but last year I went to my very first home game, and that really got me hooked. Like, wow.
Right.
I saw him playing against Missouri last year, and it was amazing.
Nate, I don't care if you join, but damn it, we're not talking about Michigan or Nebraska football. Unless we talk about the Michigan game where Tennessee destroyed them in the
42-10.
Yeah, we can talk about that all you want.
But no, like
now I was gonna ask. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I
No, go ahead.
He's talking. I just. So yeah, you've been in the Memphis area because for people who don't know, South Haven, Mississippi is literally on the
like
state
15
line
minutes down the
in
road.
Memphis
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. If that, maybe 10 minutes down the road.
I'm curious, are there a lot of Tennessee fans in the Memphis area?
I have about 5 customers who are volunteer fans, and like they're diehard, but the rest are Ole Miss fans and State fans and Bama fans, and yeah, they brag about their teams, but
Probably
like,
University of Memphis.
well,
Is
believe
it-
it or not, a lot of Memphis fans, they're like, oh, you're wearing orange. I'm like, I actually kind of like the Tigers, like they're local. I've never had a problem with the Tigers as long as they aren't playing us. I don't see a problem with the Tigers.
So I was going to ask,
being in,
is it true that Penny Hardaway is a real live pussy?
Well,
We know he's a
can't-
bitch because he ended the series with Tennessee, but I was just curious,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind Penny Hardaway. I mean, because he was he played for the Tigers and stuff, but
Right.
I mean, he was supposed to have the Tigers relevant in basketball. I mean, he kind of does, but they're not as good as they should be.
Right. They're not as good as Tennessee. That's a fact.
No, we would destroy them.
As soon as we beat them, he ended the home and home with us.
Yeah.
Pussy. The coach they had before tried to do that too, or did
But
do
no,
it.
like
What
I'm
was his
diehard.
name?
Like I bleed orange. Like I'm diehard.
Nice.
What's up,
What's
guys?
up?
Oh, what's
up,
up,
Nate?
What's up, Nate?
Not much, guys. I just got done with playing co-ed unified soccer.
Soccer.
Well, Special Olympics.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, we can forgive you then, since it's for the Special Olympics.
But I will say this, since Nate's in here, one thing I will be doing is I will be going to the Slop Olympics in
oh shit.
24. I will be there.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that I haven't booked my room yet, so or we haven't. So go ahead.
But yeah, I really hope we can get it done this year. I really want to. I mean, I know we won the championship the year I was born, but like, I really want to win a national title and see what that feels like to have your team on top.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
It's amazing. It
Yeah.
surely is.
And I'm an NHL fan, so like, I've seen my favorite NHL team win the Stanley Cup twice.
Hey, you're
But,
an
like-
NHL fan? Let's go.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love NHL.
Me too.
I'm a huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
Oh shit.
I take it you're a Red Wings fan.
Yep.
I knew it. Yep.
Well, right now I'm a Kraken fan for right now until I like this
One
story.
sec, guys.
A
So,
Kraken. I love that. I love that a professional team actually used the nickname Kraken. The
that's
Kraken.
Seattle. Yeah. Yeah, Seattle.
Wow.
So
Can you explain to us what a Kraken is, Nate?
is a mythical creature that mythical creature that is powerful enough to destroy ships in whatever stands the way.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm also an NBA fan, but the Grizzlies let me down this year. They let me down real bad.
I'm a Lakers fan, but I could honestly give a shit less about the NBA playoffs. But knowing that the Lakers was the team that defeated and ended Memphis's season tickles the shit out of me for personal reasons. Otherwise, go Grizzlies.
Dylan Brooks had to go and run his mouth, man. Dylan Brooks, man, he had to run his mouth to LeBron James. That's what happened.
I think he's now the most hated NBA player. I think
he cost us the series, man.
Yeah.
Who this guy you're talking about?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks. Yeah, he was talking a lot of crap, and
he didn't talk crap, talk shit, or talk trash on live against LeBron.
Yeah. He said he's old. He's not. He can't hang, and LeBron proved him wrong.
Oh, that was just an invitation for an ass whooping, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And LeBron just whooped their butts.
During one game, LeBron actually pulled him to a side and he said, "You're going to make me do something I'm not going to want to have to do."
Okay, maybe this is better. I had to restart my phone. My phone was glitching, so I had to restart it.
Be good.
So as I was saying before my thing kept cutting out, I will be at the Slob Olympics. So if any of y'all would like to come and meet your lovable and local TriStar and hear me and Uncle Lou still argue about no Sean Moreno in 2008 or the 2006 choke job that they did.
Man, everybody on Boogie's show has been looking for you, man.
Well, I can tell you what it is. I mean, listen, nothing against Boogie, but I've been wanting to do like a one-on-one thing, kind of like what I'm doing with BVD, but and
he'll eventually do it with you. I'll give him. Boogie. I think Boogie respects my opinion of people and the people that I know around here. So I give him a good report on you.
And one thing I told him I wanted to do was because he wrestled and stuff. I was wanting to do like a live stream where we talk about wrestling.
Ooh.
Just to kind of do something a little different.
I know he pretty much keeps his content 100% Tennessee football, but maybe like on nights like tonight where he's playing football, he'll talk about anything. And we're going to start doing a morning show come football season on Mondays. So, he might even, who knows, he might talk about it then. I don't know, because when me and Boogie get together, we just talk. I think that's where you came from, isn't it, Noah? Didn't you come over from his stream?
Yep.
Cool. I wish you could pull some more of those guys over here. I need more Tennessee fans.
Somebody tell me what was the name of that guy from Texas that they has like their little co-hosts?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Dauber's son.
The one they call. I feel like, and me and a few other guys talked about. I feel like they were hazing him or something. Like
no. They weren't.
Well, I'm just saying that's the way it kind of came off to me. Now maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I'm just. Who we got here?
Big Tube.
Oh, Vic, my boy.
Yeah, thank you for letting me come on the show, BVD.
Hey man, anytime I do something like this,
I was actually a little nervous. I was like,
hell, don't be nervous, shit. I'm going to move this to Tuesday, by the way.
Yes.
Because we got TK streams the same time I do, and she draws a decent crowd now. And Jackpot is streaming tonight, too. That's where everybody went, in case y'all are wondering.
Of course. And
Jackpot is
credit. I'll say this real quick. Credit to Visor for helping me come up with a phrase that I just drop on Rob's ass like nobody's business.
What's that?
Mimic the gimmick.
Mimic
the gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is we put up 52 points on Alabama, and that's something nobody has done since 1907. But they want to call it a gimmick.
That's false. The last time they had 50 hung on conveniently was against us in 2003.
Well, actually, it was Florida. Florida hung 50-something on them in the 2020 SEC championship. So
Are you
Or
sure?
like
Yeah.
in like a loss. I mean, in like a loss.
I just thought of something. I can't go to Tuesday because freaking Pete
Florida.
and Sea Dog do the ACC show on
Do
Tuesday.
it on Thursday.
Damn it.
Yeah, it was like 60-something to 50-something. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't in basketball?
No, maybe it'd be a basketball score, but yeah, that was in a football game. Yes. Yes, Alabama, Florida, 60-something to 50-something in a
I'm going to
football.
look this up.
I honestly wonder if that loss really bothered Alabama fans. I mean, you got to think about it. Beating somebody 15 years in a row and then beating you once, you're kind of like, meh. You're one win to our 15.
Well,
why do we care?
Well, of course it bothered Bama fans.
Yeah, I think it bothered them because that game probably kept them out of possibly out of either that or the LSU game kept them out
Yeah.
of the playoffs.
Right.
But the LSU game was probably that would be way more hurtful.
That was the
because
icing on the cake.
it kept them out of
Actually,
the SEC championship game too.
Well,
Vic,
well,
that's actually wrong. I'm looking at right now. It's 52-46 was the score.
Well, I mean, BBD wasn't Lawtie watching the game with you.
Yeah, he was here at the house with me. Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he wasn't happy.
Nah.
How did he feel about losing to y'all?
Well, I didn't give
Happy
him
about it.
I didn't give him too much shit about it because he literally had to pick me up off the floor.
I actually watched that video. I love that video. I love your reaction.
Well,
Yeah.
I can give you.
I was
better
actually
one.
here whenever they won.
Yeah, I can give y'all a better one. We was at my mom's house, and me and my wife, because like y'all might have heard, my wife's a die-hard Alabama fan, die-hard. And she was so, I've never seen her this mad after a loss. And yeah, I rubbed it in a little bit because I was intoxicated. She would not, my mom had to take me home. Like, she was so mad she left. She went to the house and she would not sleep in the bed with me for a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rough.
But yeah, not Vic. Me and Visor was sitting around one day when old Kay Klubnik talked about, we're going to do similar to what Tennessee does. And that's where me and him was like, yeah, let's come with a phrase of that. And he came up with mimic the gimmick.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Cade Club Dick. So they were going to be like.
Well, I call him Cade Limp Dick because he was a limp dick after we terrorized him.
Dick, that's a better line.
I mean,
we'll see how he does this year. So,
well, who knows?
Go ahead.
I mean, Klubnik's got potential. I think he'd be a good quarterback. I just don't think he was ready for that spot.
yeah.
No, he wasn't.
And
guys, y'all want to come up with any last words? Anytime I drop down around 10 people, it's time to call it a stream.
All right, you don't want to go until 10.
Vic, I'm sorry I didn't come on today. I was asleep with a bad migraine.
Oh,
thank you for letting me come on the show.
What time do you stream, Vic?
Fridays at. And
No. I mean, I thought you were saying my brain's elsewhere. I thought he was saying that he didn't come on your stream today. I thought you had one today.
No, I'm talking about me.
I did the Celine.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I'll see y'all later.
Hey, anytime, Noah. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate you coming on, buddy. You're always
sir.
welcome here.
Thank you.
I
Yes,
did
sir.
the show today. So.
We are family.
I guess
And
I don't know.
Nate's a Yankee.
I don't know what to do. What do you guys think I should do? You think I should just stay right here on Wednesdays and fight the good fight, or
I would move it to Thursdays.
well, see, come football season, me and Sea Dog are going to move to Thursday.
Why?
Well, until
because I'll be at the football games on Friday.
At the Greenville game.
Yeah.
then. Them fighting Green Devils.
Oh, yeah.
Now I will say this, Vic. Are you going to any Georgia games this year?
I don't know. I might go to one trash game, but I mean,
Trash game. Cool.
You
I'm
guys
gonna.
might have season tickets.
no.
We
No, I
probably
just
can't get
assumed you
them right
did.
now. Season tickets are probably sold out.
His dad could get them surely if he wanted them.
Yeah, Vic is rich. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm
What? Wait, Vic's rich. Hey Vic, can I have about $10,000?
Well, I know that
I,
you get
I need to get some lights for my
not,
truck.
yeah, not that kind of rich, but yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
We're all rich in some department.
We're rich right here.
wow.
Yeah.
Right here in the heart. We're rich. We're rich in the heart.
I'm rich in surgeries and anesthesia.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. For y'all that are here, come check me out on the tweet machine. I'm definitely on there. There's definitely a lot more fan bases on there. I've been telling some of those Auburn people that they need to make YouTube channels because there's no Auburn people.
Yeah.
And,
Is there any Auburn YouTubers out there? I don't think.
well, there's some like professional ones, like you got the War Report, I think, but that's like they're professional, like they don't do like trash talk or none of that
Seen
stuff.
some like Auburn typer fans, but seemed like a guy named well, Kyle Papik. Yeah, sometimes comes on Lou's streams,
But
And who is he?
I don't know. Yeah, he's an Auburn fan. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's
Okay.
just a typer, but yeah.
Gotcha.
And then there used to be a kid who used to my mom call in to Lou's show. His name was the ultimate troll. But he'd
Alan A.
call in.
That's how you leave a stream right there.
Right, but he doesn't call in anymore.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ed.
So I guess he like started going to college, I guess, and he stopped.
Well, see, what I've been wanting to do is see, like, you know how Pete's got the ACC show? I've been wanting to do the SEC show.
Well, you're too late, buddy.
Too little, too late.
Look right here.
Oh shit! Even the Coca-Cola.
That's right. Well, I thought you. Yeah, I thought Rooster Show was called Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah, see, they're Rooster streaming on Thursday. I can't move to Thursday. Fuck it, I'm gonna stay right here.
Yeah, Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
Well,
besides,
why?
I mean,
I
will call Tuesday doesn't sound right, or will call Thursday.
Even Monday night.
We'll talk Tuesdays. I don't know.
Yeah, it just don't sound right. What were you trying to say, Vic? We kept cutting you off.
Why Rooster was streaming tonight though? I think it was to make up for, because he normally does a show on Mondays, but I guess he couldn't do it on Monday, so I guess he made up tonight. So
gotcha.
Well, I mean, you know, but yeah, if you're about to wrap it up, is Rob and Kel still doing their show right now?
Yeah.
The Rob and Kale show, I think, goes until
shit.
Okay, well, I need to go there and annoy Rob again and say fuck the Tater Man and mimic the gimmick some more.
I don't think it's
until like 11.
wait a minute.
Oh damn, Pete's gonna start in a minute.
And then
Pete starts at 10. Rooster's on, or not Rooster, but Jackpot's on right now, but I can't tell if this is a replay. Yeah, it's a replay. It just ended.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
that show. Yeah, Rob and Kale.
And I know TK will probably end at 10 because she don't want to step on Pete. There's no stepping on anybody's toes anymore.
Ow, it hurt.
Everybody streams. There's so many people streaming now. It's about impossible to have a stream where somebody else, unless you do it at 1 or 2 in the morning, then you run the risk of running into traveling pools. So
yeah, those can keep you awake.
Right, well, we got a good lineup on Friday between between me and BVD Dog and Pete. So yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
All night on Fridays.
But
Oh,
all y'all go, because here pretty soon, once I get some couple of things, and somebody can help me set up the StreamYard thing where I can link it to my YouTube channel, because it's on there. Same thing, TriStar, same thing.
There's nothing to linking it up. I mean, it gives you the option when you start how you want to do your stream, if you want to do it live on YouTube or private or whatever.
video, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go, BVD. But thank you for having me on.
Anytime, Nate. You know that.
Have fun, you Yankee.
I'm gonna go get some Hooters. I'll be right back.
Sounds like fun. See you, Nate. Vic, appreciate you joining.
Thanks for having me on too, Keith. Yeah.
And we'll see you soon, brother.
See you, Vic.
Okay, see y'all.
That just leaves you for the last word.
Well, it sucks now. I'm not having the connection problem.
Yeah.
But anyways, I appreciate you having me on. We'll definitely do this again. Like I said, I'm gonna try to figure out how to set that up where I can do stuff on YouTube and all that stuff, and still do my Twitter Spaces. But yeah, you need to make a Twitter, man. Come on there sometime.
I've got a Twitter.
You do?
Hell, I've got a pretty good Twitter following too, which is kind of funny because I'm never ever on it.
Well, you need to look me up.
Let's see.
It's literally the same name and it's same profile picture. You'll see like Visors following me, Vic's following me.
What the hell? I think I've been hacked.
Uh-oh. What is it? Showing some girl from Indonesia?
No, it's like what the fuck is this?
What has it got porn on there?
No, it's got my picture, 0 followers and 0 following.
Well, that tells me that you might have got shut down.
And it's instead of it's at the Big Vol Daddy, it says at L Daddy. They just mix the damn letters around. So I don't know what.
I would make a new one because, like I said, Visor.
I'm not making a new Twitter account. Fuck that. If I got shut down, because I'm not doing that. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm gonna have to look into this because I've either been hacked or what the fuck, man.
Rob Dog says you didn't pay their new fees.
Do they have?
Wait, Ramma Jamma said your original Twitter's still up there.
I was gonna say, what the hell? Let's see. Yeah, I've got 704 followers, man.
I got more than you. I got 860.
Oh, well, that's a challenge, buddy. You've had it now.
But definitely, I'll add you to the group chat and all that stuff. I do spaces on there all the time.
Now, let me see what's going on with this fucking thing right here.
Because I like having fun with Alabama fans on there and stuff. There's some, they get real heated. It's funny.
Yeah, I definitely, I didn't get hacked. Although, Ramma Jamma Taylor, you're going to have to help me with this, buddy. I'll show you real quick before we get off of here.
But yeah, if you're able to get on to that original account, send me a follow.
Here's the bogus account. See down here at L Daddy Vo, they just moved the letters around. But sometimes I share my videos on Twitter. And this is one this is one that I shared. I don't know what the hell's up. Okay, and then this would be the real Twitter. Right here. The Big Vol Daddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
700.
while you're on there, look me up and you can show what I got and all that stuff while you're on there.
All right, let me get off of here, and I'll look you up.
All right,
It's
man.
just TriStar, right? At TriStar.
Yeah, it'll be like at TriStar TN or something like that because I couldn't put just TriStar, but it's Tri-Star.
Oh, wait a minute. Tri-Star TN, right?
Yep.
I see you right here. It came right up. If that's you. Got a picture with Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, and Joe Milton.
Okay, you just made it to 863 followers. You better follow me back, you fucker.
Well, now you follow me, I'll follow you, and I'll.
Gotcha.
And you can come in and listen to some of these spaces. They're pretty good.
And, all right, buddy. I appreciate you coming on, TriStar.
And I'll tell you this: I might be doing some stuff with the volunteer club here pretty soon, possibly, if things go the way I'm thinking.
Cool. Well, let me know how that goes.
All right, man. You have a good one.
I'll holler at you, brother. All right, guys, that's a wrap. We're gonna whoop your ass if we do, Bandy. We're gonna whoop your ass. We just own you guys right now. That's all. You'll get us back in something, I'm sure. Maybe women's basketball this year. Maybe you'll have another miracle in basketball like you did this year, where you throw a Hail Mary in and beat us. You never know. Thank you, Noah James, VicTube, and Nate for coming on the show. Thank you guys all for showing up. Rob Dog, better late than never. Matt Dumit, thanks for always being here, and thanks for ruining my day with the Iron Maiden news. Taylor and everybody, thank you guys. Thanks, Ed, for the nice super chat. Thank you, Wrestling Talk, for the super chat, and thank you, Big Sexy, for the PayPal. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate it. And I love each and every, by God, one of you. Love you, mean it. Hug them mom and daddies, because you never know when they're going to have 17 or 18 surgeries in a year and a half span. You just never know. And there's no guarantee when they put that propofol in you and knock your ass out, there's no guarantee you're going to wake back up. So hug your mom and daddies. You'll thank me for it later. Go Vols, screw y'alls, and we'll see ya Friday night for Daddy and the Dog, where, get ready, folks, tell your friends, share this out. It's a virtual death match with Momo and C-Cat. Don't know who C-Cat is, but we know who Momo is now. Maybe Momo will show up Friday night. Love you, minute. Hug your mom and daddies. Go Vols, screw y'alls. I'm out.
Gathered in their masses.